A big hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. This is Big Brain, and it is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to the third season of A Class Apart, the Mrs. Ygp Memorial Quiz 2022. It's a celebrative initiative created by the Padma Seshadri Bal Bhavan group of schools to keep alive and cherish and celebrate the wonderful life of an educator, a teacher, a mentor, Mrs. Ygp. It's our pleasure and privilege to present this quiz to you, third year in a row. And over the last couple of years, this quiz has really grown in stature in terms of the difficulty levels, and this year is no different. But I'm not going to stand between you and this wonderful quiz. Presenting this series to you is a young lady who shares her name, incidentally, with Mrs. Ygp, who is also known as Rashmi, as the name under which she wrote many of her newspaper articles when she was a scribe. Rashmi herself has grown over the last couple of years, leaps and bounds, especially as a host in the digital space in the pandemic era that we were part of. She's in fact become the lady who has hosted the most number of quiz shows in this world on a digital platform. An alumnus of NITK Surathkal, a recipient of many awards, she is no new face to all of you who've been part of this quiz over the last couple of years. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, presenting before you the one and only Rashmi Furtado.
Hello ladies and gentlemen and my dear students, a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the fourth quarter final of A Class Apart Mrs. Ygp Memorial Quiz, brought to you by PSVB Group of Institutions in collaboration with TCS ION and Grey Caps Knowledge Tribe. This is a beautiful quiz that was conceptualized 3 years ago. This is the third edition of this quiz. This quiz is a tribute to a celebrated educator from our country, Mrs. Ygp. All of us educators know her and know what she's done for the field of education in our country, and this quiz celebrates her. Let me quickly introduce all of our contestants to you, and then we'll get cracking with the rules of the game. Our first contestant for this quarter final is Sunandu from Teja Vidyalaya. Alright, there he is. Following him is Rutik, again from Teja Vidyalaya in Nalgonda, Telangana. Both of them belong to the same school. Moving on. Following Rutik is Shreyansh from Presidency School, Bengaluru. There he is. Following him is Ritesh from DAV Public School, Khurda in Odisha. Following Ritesh is Tanay from Venkateshwara International School, Delhi. Up next is Rushil from Padma Seshadri Bal Bhavan School, Chennai. Following him is Srinath from Delhi Public School, Delhi, from Vasant Kunj, Delhi. And completing our lineup here today is Meet Jain from Vidyaniketan Public School, Bengaluru. Let me quickly go over the rules of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 10 questions is what I have for them, all of them on the buzzer, single letter per question only. +1 if they get it right, -1 if they get it wrong. Most importantly, 4 among the 8 of them will qualify into the semi-final. That's the goal here. They have to cement their slot in that semi-final. That is what is most important. The rest of the rules have been explained to them already, including the fair play protocol. So I will not get into the details, and let's get cracking with this quarter final. Alright, the first question of this quarter final, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. In which Indian city is Fort William located? Rutik, go ahead.
Calicut.
You need to repeat your answer, Rutik.
Calicut.
Alright, -1 on that. Calicut is not the answer I was looking for. Kolkata, the answer I was looking for. Even if you had told me Calcutta, I would have given you -1 on that to Ritik. Moving on to the next question, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. What or where is Loktak Lake located? L-O-K. Ritik, go ahead.
Manipur.
Manipur is absolutely right. Getting a +1 on that is Ritik. Let's move on to the next question. Here we go. Rajghat is the final resting place or samadhi of which famous Indian? Rashil, go ahead.
It's Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
+1 on that. Mahatma Gandhi, or like he said, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, giving him a +1. Absolutely right. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. How do we know Patliputra better today? Or the new name for Patliputra rather. Meet, go ahead.
Patna.
Absolutely right. +1 on that. Patna was previously known as Patliputra. Getting a +1 on that is Meet. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. Where or in which Indian state would you find the Gir forest? Meet, go ahead.
Gujarat.
+1. Absolutely right. Beautiful answer. Gujarat giving him a +1. All right. Moving on to question number 6. What revolution was brought in by Chidambaram Subramaniam in 1966 in India? There were 2 others with whom he collaborated. There were 2 others. All right, no one going on this one. Oh, just on time. Tanay, go ahead.
Ma'am, about food and agriculture.
I said what revolution? I'm looking for a very specific, it's like dash revolution. One word answer.
Ma'am, I think
You're on the right track. That's why I'm still giving you a chance.
Green Revolution. Green Revolution.
+1 on that. Absolutely right. Green revolution is the answer I was looking for. In fact, Chidambaram Subramaniam along with M.S. Swaminathan and B. Shivaraman, they worked towards building or developing the modern agricultural policy which led to the green revolution in our country. Tanay gets a +1 on that. Let us move on to question number 7. What game with variants such as Gamini, Sanjeevani and Amar, okay? Gamini, Sanjeevani and Amar is the national game. Ritesh, go ahead.
Then chess.
Oh, -1 Ritesh. I wish you would have listened to me. Let me finish the question. What game with variants such as Gamini, Sanjeevani and Amar is the national game of Bangladesh? The answer I was looking for is Kabaddi. Kabaddi, or in Bangladesh they also know, call it as Hadudu. So either or would have given you a +1. All right. Moving on to question number 8. Here we go. Which national park's name, I said national park's name, translates to serpentine streams and has the river Kabini flowing through it? Lot of clues in the question. River Kabini flowing through it. The name translates to serpentine streams. Ritik, go ahead.
Silent Valley.
Repeat answer, Ritik.
Silent Valley.
Getting a -1 on that is Ritik. The answer I was looking for is Nagarhole. The Nagarhole National Park that we have in Karnataka actually translates to serpentine streams, and Kabini is the river that flows through that particular national park. 2 more questions remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you where our contestants stand. Meet is currently leading this quiz with 2 points. He has taken his 2 points and I think he's decided to sit back. He's playing his strategy well, which is good actually. It works in a quiz like this. All right, following him are Tanay and Rushil, both on +1 each. Ritik just took a negative and so did Ritesh. they were doing well, but I think they either did not process the question well or did not listen to the question completely, getting them each a negative. All right, 2 more questions remaining. As of now, I have 3 people in the positives. Let's see what happens. Question number 9, here we go. During elections, India set up 1 polling booth for Mr. Mahant Bharat Das since 2004. Where was this polling booth set up? Srinath, go ahead.
Gir Forest.
+1 to you. Absolutely right. Gir Forest giving him a +1. If I'm not wrong, he passed away, I think about 2 years ago, I think in 2019. Don't hold me on that, I'm not sure. All right, let's move on to the last question of this quarter final. I have 4 of them on positives. If someone else gets a +1, then there will be a tiebreaker. If not, these 4 will make it through to the semi-final. Let's see what happens. The last question. All right. Which of these will you find at the confluence delta of Brahmaputra, Meghna and Ganga rivers? Okay. 3 rivers, Brahmaputra, Meghna and Ganga. Your options, Sundarbans or Sangam. Ritik, go ahead.
Sundarbans.
+1. He's absolutely right. Sundarbans giving him a +1, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see where all of them stand and figure out who has qualified to the semi-final. All right. Like I mentioned earlier, Meet is leading this quiz with 2 points and he has secured his spot in that semi-final. Following or rather joining Meet are Rushil, Srinath and Tanay all on +1 each. Rutik did get a +1 just now, but he had a negative. So that sort of evened out and he could not move into the positives. He tried really well, but he could not make it through. So as of now, we have Meet, Rushil, Srinath and Tanay, all of them making it through to the semi-final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed all the quarterfinals. I really hope you have enjoyed the remaining or rather the first, second and third quarterfinal. I have semi-finals coming up. You have seen how these kids have played. Believe me, the competition is going to get tougher. The quality is going to get better and better as we go closer into that big finale that's coming up. So don't go anywhere. Join me in the first semi-final that is coming up and I hope to see you all there. See you soon.